For years and years and years, I've been trying to learn an instrument, to be a musician, to play music, and I've failed at everything that I've tried. I can't play music at all. And I suddenly realized that my ultimate goal wasn't to be a musician, but to be the absolute best groupie that I could possibly be. That I found myself with a community, but it was a community of musicians that was built into the venue. Someone I knew through going to shows, someone I knew through social media hit me up. That guy was Andy Freeman. He said, hey, let's get a burger. He had all these plans about, all right, so we're gonna start a record label, we're going to get all these musicians organized, we're gonna take over the world, we're gonna make this huge empire, we're gonna do all these things, and I was like, I was like, well, let's meet next week, but let's invite our friends. I'm normally that guy that's like popcorning all over the place, and this particular time I feel like I was like, hey, let's start small and just say, let's see who else thinks this is cool. And so we met one more time at a place called Jim's on Mission Street, and we were 5 people maybe, and at the time had no idea that like 5 people at a diner would suddenly become 5+ cities. It's ridiculous growth. Like, it doesn't even make sense. But that's kind of how breakfast started, was that like, let's just come together and hang out. And it splinters into an Oakland group, and then it branches out into a San Jose group, and then all of a sudden Boston exists, and Nashville, and Austin, and LA, and San Diego, and Toronto. Yeah. Like we knew that we started breakfast because musicians needed resources. We didn't know that we started breakfast because musicians were extremely hungry for community. I could list out 10 things that I think musicians need. I could say, you need this, you need this. Like, I'm gonna help you give you this. I'm gonna help you with marketing. I'll help you with promotion. I'll help you with all these things. But when it came down to it, I feel like ultimately the reason people came to breakfast was that something that you can't actually give them, and that's community. They came to breakfast, they made friends. They came to breakfast, they met future band members. They came to breakfast and they felt like they were surrounded by people that understood, that like just got it, that we're booking shows and worried about attendance. We're creating flyers and not knowing how to design it. And it's just like the empathy of it was like what ultimately brought people back, because they're just like, you get me, like this is great. I finally have my people that can just talk about the music industry in a constructive way. I've definitely heard musicians talk about like finding their purpose in the city, like thinking that there's nothing left for them in the city, and then suddenly realizing that there was a niche for them here, and they just needed to be pointed at it. It's all in breakfast. It's just, you just have to participate.